This is a valuable lesson for people to see. Ron has a better chest than me, and I can out-bench him all day long.
He can bench like twice what I can bench.
So it doesn't really matter.
It's just all genetics. I still have my original belt on. I know it may be a real thick powerlifting one, but I need like 3 people to help me get it on and off.
You only need that for squat.
Okay, I'm going to tell you a little bit about today's workout, today's chest workout that Jose and I did. We started off with a pec fly machine. Jose always starts off chest with some sort of isolation movement. Usually it's cable crossover. Today we use this cable fly machine. For him it serves 2 purposes. General warm-up, getting some blood in the area, which everyone should do anyway, somehow. And he needs to pre-exhaust his chest when he trains it because his shoulders and his triceps are so overpowering and dominant that if he doesn't do this, they're always going to take over on his pressing movements. I typically save my fly movements, my isolation movements for chest for later because I don't have that problem. My chest always gets all the work. Clearly you can see my chest is much more developed than my arms, so that's never been a problem as far as the chest not getting the stimulation. I've always had a really good mind-muscle connection with my chest from day one for whatever reason. Even when I was a teenager and really had no clue what I was doing, I had that feeling.
Try though with the dumbbells? If you don't, you get some more triceps. Take some spare triceps if anyone wants to donate some. PayPal account accepts triceps, you know.
So we probably did about 4 or 5 sets there. We really don't count reps. It's not important. It's really not important to us. You know, we've been both training so long. I've been training 30 years. He's been training pretty close to that himself. So we just have a really good instinct for what we need to do and what feels right. Okay, from there we moved on to the flat barbell bench press. Normally I like to start with inclines, but not all the time. But I do believe everybody should start with a free weight pressing movement for the simple reason that free weights, barbells and dumbbells require a lot of balance and coordination. And as your strength will diminish as the workout goes on, you're going to lose your ability to balance and coordinate free weights. So you're going to get your best work, for me anyway. In fact, most of the time I do only one pressing movement with free weights. I'll start with dumbbell or barbell movement, some sort of press, and then I'll move on to like a hammer-strength machine or Smith machine or something else. As you'll see, I'm not very strong on the bench press. Ironically enough, my chest is probably my best body part. It's always been thick, never had a problem getting it to grow. But strength-wise, I've done some heavy dumbbell work in the past, but I've never been very good at the flat bar bench press. Jose, just the last time I shot him doing chest, he worked up to 405. He's much, much more powerful on the bench press than I would ever be. But his chest just genetically doesn't grow as well. It's like the only thing genetically I really have over him. He has everything else over me, obviously, if you look at him. So we did a few sets there. Started off. I never went over 225, and it's, you know, you can laugh all you want, but I'm a pure bodybuilder, which means I really don't care about the weights I use. I use the weights that I need to use to stimulate the muscle. And not to make excuses, but I have had shoulder surgery and a tricep tear that was also reattached surgically. Both of those happened to me in late 2011. So my shoulder, especially my left shoulder, is not very stable. I have to be very, very careful with it. It's in pain quite a lot of times if I'm not careful. And, those of you who don't have any shoulder pain, count yourself lucky. Hopefully you never will, because it sucks. It interferes with pretty much everything else you'll do. Not just in the gym, but everyday life when your shoulder is really jacked up. So Jose worked up to 315, and then he did a drop set. As you can see, we had the quarters placed in there so that he could go from 365 for however many reps that was. We took a 45 off. It was 275. He kept going. Took another quarter off, 185, and he repped that out. It was a lot of reps, and you can see how pumped his chest was by the end of that.
From putting on over 20 pounds in a week, I'm like an old man. I got sciatic pain. It's absolutely killing me. It's fine as long as I don't try to stand up straight. So I'm really only about 5'2" now.
Also, he doesn't lock out. Locking out for him would put more stress on the triceps. Again, I've never had that problem. My triceps don't seem to want to take any of the stress regardless, so I always lock out. I like to get a good strong contraction, and if I can sense that the set is coming to an end, I'll really slow the negative down and get that good stretch, because I know I'm not going to get too many more reps. From there, we moved on to the hammer strength incline press. I like this machine a lot. I like the hammer strength machines. The only issue I have with the hammer strength chest machines is that the thicker you are from front to back, you know, if you have a thicker chest and back, Jose is obviously extremely thick from front to back, you're going to have a lot more difficulty getting the movement started because you have to reach back much further than a person who's much more shallow. For them, the bars are right in front of them. The handles are right in front of them. For someone like Jose and even myself, I have to reach back a good deal. So if that's your issue also, you're usually better off having your training partner, if you have one, or spotter, help you get the weight started, help you out of that deep bottom stretch position. Otherwise, you're going to lose a few reps from your set. And as you'll see on this is an exercise with the hammer machine. I really like to take advantage of the fact that it's balanced already for you, and I squeeze the contraction hard. I flex the chest hard at the top of every rep. Now, that's something you can do with free weights, but it's a little more difficult because at the same time you're still trying to keep them balanced. Not an issue with the hammer strength machine.
Take off. That's Lufer, you know what it said? Pumping iron. I'm not that far. I want more. You make it harder. Make it harder. Sorry, Lou. Jose says locking out is bad in the elbows, but I think I'm proof positive that that's actually probably true. That's where the tricep came off right there. I covered up with a tattoo of
your wife.
My wife, Janet, she was portrayed as an angel with a halo.
And the hammer strength machine is good because it's not free weights, but it's not exactly a machine in the way that other machines are. The movement arms are independent of each other, so you don't have overcompensation of a weak side, a stronger side taking over for a weaker side or anything like that, because it's they're unilateral handles. We did a few sets there. Jose was actually crunched for time, so we didn't do a lot more. From there, we just did incline dumbbell flies, something I really don't do a lot of. He's taken to this movement quite a bit over the past year or two. I actually feel I get a lot more out of like a pec fly machine or cable crossovers because I can get a better contraction, a peak contraction. I feel the resistance better, but to each his own. And you know, some people really get a lot out of dumbbell flies, and those people should continue doing it. Normally what I would do to finish off chest, and we didn't have time to do it today, is it's just some sort of either a bench press machine where you're seated upright with the plate loading and you can just focus on squeezing out a few good sets, maybe 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps, really squeezing the contraction, holding it for a pause. Or I'll do dips, either one, leaning forward on dip bars, just body weight, don't need any extra weight at this point.
Well done. That was your off-season cruising workout. Not really getting too nasty. Feeling like dog shit. And the upcoming weeks I'll be a little more energetic and ready to roll. Right now I'm full of swollen. I feel like shit. I did do 45 minutes of cardio this morning. I'm trying to get a little of this off. I got a guest pose next week in Puerto Rico.
When you say get a little of this off, looks like mainly just a little water. You haven't got fat. No. I see much body fat when you competed. Yeah, a little tiny bit and some water. Olympia is about 16 weeks away roughly.
Yeah.
What do you do in between now and then? I mean, are you going to stay on the contest diet? Are you going to try to maintain this lean condition from now until, a few weeks out?
No, I'm going to try to maintain this for another 2 weeks. No real need for me to get super fat between now and then, but my weight will go up. I'll probably hit 235. I'm going to be lax on my diet a little bit for the next 6 weeks or so. So then at 12 weeks, I'll be balls out, ready to go. And I'll be ready to step on stage at 3 weeks out. And I'll be complete insanity the day of the show.
The fact that you're busier now with appearances than you've ever been before, does that help you stay in shape? Because you're going to be somewhere every couple of weeks basically now, right?
Yeah, definitely. I've had to turn a few down recently. I talked to Flex and he's like, it's only going to get worse, mate. He's like, next year will be crazy. I love it. That's what we're all in it for. We want to be making money and traveling, meeting people and seeing the world. That's exactly what I'm doing. I love it. But it is a lot of pressure to, someone's always going to snap a picture where you look your worst, belly hanging out, looking fat.
Yeah.
But this is my job. I get paid to stay in shape, so there's not quite as much sushi and Mai Tais as there used to be. Coming up on the Olympia, I know I'm a favorite going in. I know I can win this.
Yeah.
I've beaten every guy that's in front of me or next to me.
Yeah.
And if I do everything right the way I'm supposed to, and the plans that Chris has for me, Chris and I both agreed I could have been far better in Toronto than I was, even though that was my best combination of size, conditioning, and everything. I could still be a lot better. I know. I didn't really do anything crazy to look like that. If I step it up just a little bit, some crazy things are coming for the Olympia.
The last question, we've talked about this briefly at the show, but there's a lot of good guys, but really the big talk, the two exciting guys in the 212 division with the most fans and the people that get the most interest going are yourself and Flex. I think a lot of people want to see a battle, a showdown at the very end. One of those situations where the last call out is you and Flex and everyone's going to be biting their nails. I mean, do you see the same thing happening?
I do see that. That's exactly what I want. I think that's what Flex wants. I think that's what everyone but David and Sammy and Eduardo, that's what everyone but them. I think that's what it's going to be,
Yeah.
It's more because we're the most active. We do, David's got a full-time job doing this. Eduardo doesn't speak too much English. Sammy lives so far away. So we do the most stuff around the country, the most promoting of the sport. And I just won 2 back-to-back shows. I keep showing that I'm getting better and better and better with every show. Where most other guys were already really good and kind of just holding it there. I'm growing, getting harder, getting better. I'm honing my craft. So, that's why it's exciting, and Flex is too. People love to see improvements, change, it's exciting, and we're the ones really, really bringing it a different look each time. So, yeah, that's what it's going to be. I envision it, and I envision me like this at the end.
Yeah, buddy.